Okay, so good day po my fellow taong bayan Seymour at ngayon po papag-usapan natin yung plunder at graft case versus VP Sara Duterte po na final ng grupong Silent Majority kasama si former Senator Sonny Trillanes. So yung pinaka-facts lang naman po nito is the more or less nagre-revolve around pa rin po sa confidential funds si VP Duterte. Pero aside from dun sa panahon po niya as DepEd Secretary and currently as VP, sinama din po nila nung time as Davao City Mayor po ni VP Sara. Okay, so ang magiging main issues lang po talaga natin for today is number 1, pwede ba talaga yung mga ganitong cases against VP Sara who is an impeachable officer, and then kung ano po yung posibleng mangyari or actions and or reactions po ng ombudsman in relation to mga ganito pong case or complaints na fina-file against impeachable officers. And then magbibigay na lang din po ako ng personal point of view ko kung ano yung tingin ko bakit to nila ginagawa ng grupo nila Senator Trillanes and the other individuals who are against VP Sara, kung whether or not political strategy ba yung mga ganitong cases. Okay? So yung pinaka-first po nating legal discussion, explain ko po muna sa inyo kung ano ba talaga yung essence ng mga impeachable officers. Bakit yan sila kinlassify in a certain classification as impeachable officer, di ba? Considering public officers naman din po yan sila. Pero bakit sila, pwede lang po sila tanggalin from office via a very specific way, which is via impeachment. Okay? At makikita po natin yung kasagutan sa question na yan dito rin po sa Duterte versus House of Representatives case, the 2025 case po kung saan yung impeachment last year against VP Sara was declared void for violating the Constitution. Okay? And to be specific, pupunta po tayo sa discussion tungkol sa impeachment. Okay, so this one po, number 3, the impeachment process under the Constitution, consequences of removal from office. Pero ang gusto ko pong ipakita sa inyo is this one. Ito pong nasa number 3, letter B. So kung makita po ninyo ang sinabi dito ng Supreme Court, impeachable officers enjoy a certain degree of immunity while in office by limiting the grounds for impeachment under Article 11 of the Constitution. The intent is to shield such impeachable officers from malicious or bothersome suits that could disrupt the performance of their constitutional duties. Okay, so in very simple terms po, ang ibig sabihin niyan, kaya po ginawang impeachment ang way na pwede lang sila tanggalin sa office ay para hindi po maabala yung constitutional function sila during their incumbency. Kasi kung tatandaan po natin, ang mga impeachable officers po, they are officers who are directly created by the Constitution. Diba? Yung Vice President, Constitution po nag-create niyan. Yung Justices, Constitution din po yung nag-create niyan. Similar din with our constitutional commissions tulad ng COMELEC, that's also a constitutionally created office. The Ombudsman, a constitutionally created office. So makikita nyo naman po yung importance sila kasi yun nga po, they are constitutionally created positions and offices. Therefore, they are given protection so that they will be able to perform their constitutional duties without disruption. Yan po yung difference sila. Unlike po kasi yung mga iba nating officers like yung mga governors, mayors, those are all created by regular law. Hindi po yan under the Constitution natin. So yan po ang pinaka-purpose po talaga niyan para matutukan talaga nila yung constitutional duties nila during their incumbency. Okay? At ang rason po kaya ko yan pinapakita talaga sa inyo is because bakit na-allow yung mga ganitong kaso pala sa ombudsman kung may ganong provision or discussion sa Duterte versus HOR case, diba? Kung ganun pala yung designation ng impeachable officers, why is this still allowed? And that is because po, limited naman yung immunity ng impeachable officers other than the president po, kasi yung president, absolute yung immunity nun eh. Pero for other impeachable officers, it is limited in the sense na hindi sila pwede ma-held liable kung ang magiging decision ng kasong final sa kanila will result to their removal from office. Kasi yun nga po, pwede lang sila tanggalin via impeachment. Okay, so yan po yung professional assessment ko kung ibabalance natin tong impeachable officer classification nila versus the right to accountability of individuals. Meron pong limited immunity in a sense yung mga impeachable officers other than the president. Okay, so ngayon po ipapakita ko naman sa inyo kung ano yung most likely legal basis po kaya itong mga anti-VP Sara ay fina-file talaga nila yung mga ganitong complaints kahit na meron nga pong limited immunity dapat yung mga impeachable officers. Okay, and then i-explain ko din po yung mga possible defenses ni VP Sara against mga ganitong cases. Okay, so unahin po muna natin yung sa side ng mga nag-file ng complaint against VP Sara. So most likely po, yung basis niya nila is of course yung Republic Act 6770, which is the Ombudsman Law po natin or the Ombudsman Act. Okay, and then ang titingnan po natin dito is this one po, itong Section 22 Investigatory Power. Kasi ang nakalagay po dito, the Office of the Ombudsman shall have the power to investigate any serious misconduct in office allegedly committed by officials removable by impeachment for the purposes of filing a verified complaint for impeachment if warranted. So, padaanan ko lang muna ngayon pero mamaya ko po to i-explain in detail sa later part. Ang point lang po nitong provision na to ay para maimbestigahan ng ombudsman para gamitin yon as basis sa pag-file po ng impeachment complaint sa kanya. Okay, so yan yung tingin kong rason kaya fina-file po nila to sa ombudsman para magkaroon ng investigation. Okay? And then next naman po may gusto lang din akong i-clarify sa inyo kasi meron pong disciplinary authority, di ba, yung ombudsman. So pwede siya mag-preventive suspension. However, kung titingnan po natin sa Section 21, may exceptions po yung disciplinary authority niya ng ombudsman. At ang nakalagay po dyan, except over officials who may be removed only by impeachment or over members of Congress and the judiciary. So in other words, hindi po pwede i-discipline ng ombudsman si VP Sara as an impeachable officer. Okay, so ngayon naman po i-discuss ko sa inyo kung ano yung possible defenses ng mga pro VP Sara or ni VP Sara against this investigatory power po ng ombudsman. Okay, so break po muna tayo since madami-dami naman na po yung na-discuss natin. So this is just my reminder po na hopefully you can subscribe sa YouTube channel ko para po you can see more. Okay, so magbilang po ako ng 1, 2, 3 at tingnan po ninyo pag itry nyong mag-subscribe makaka-see more po talaga kayo. So 1, 2, oh, di ba? Sabi ko po sa inyo, makaka-see more kayo pag nag-subscribe kayo eh. So anyway po, thank you very much for the subscription and hopefully po you can also consider liking this video. Ngayon tuloy po tayo sa discussion. At ang sagot lang po dito is of course the discussion natin dito kanina sa Duterte versus HOR, which is yun nga po, yung impeachable officers are immune in a limited sense because they should be protected from malicious or bothersome suits that could disrupt the performance of their constitutional duties. Okay, so anyway po, ang point ko talaga dito, ang pwede po i-argue ni VP Sara is that itong investigatory power can be considered as malicious and bothersome kasi ngayon mare-require na siya mag-submit ng kung ano-anong documents, umattend ng hearings. So from there, pwede niya i-argue na na-disrupt yung constitutional duties niya because of this investigatory power. Okay, so kung ganun po ang argument niya, then ang pinaka-conclusion po dyan is that itong investigatory provision na to can be declared as unconstitutional in relation to impeachable officers. Okay, pero take note po hindi ko po sinasabing unconstitutional na to. Yung ina-explain ko lang po sa inyo is that it can be argued. Pero at present po, since wala pa namang actual case questioning this, therefore, pwede pa talaga yan i-invoke or gamitin. Diba? Kung gusto talaga to questionin ni VP Sara, kailangan niya po yan pumunta sa court para ipa-declare as unconstitutional to kasi it goes against nga itong very discussion ng Supreme Court in relation to impeachable officers. Okay, so yan po yung mga nakikita kong arguments, possible arguments po, those against VP Sara and those favoring VP Sara naman. Okay, and then ngayon po i-explain ko naman yung pananaw ko kung whether or not political strategy ba yung mga ganitong actions or cases na fina-file po ng mga against VP Sara. So kung ako po ang tatanungin ninyo, it is a possible political strategy and is actually a good political strategy para dun po sa mga ayaw kay VP Sara. Kasi kung tatandaan po natin, ang ombudsman po ay may power to investigate like what I explained earlier. And then during the investigation, pwede kasi yun i-broadcast ng ombudsman yung investigation niya. So ipakita ko lang muna yung provision po sa inyo. So this one po, Section 15, number 6, publicize matters covered by its investigation of the matters mentioned in paragraphs 1, 2, 3, and 4 hereof. So this power po is actually also provided by the Constitution. So ito medyo mahirap to questionin yung power na pag-publicize sa mga investigation ng ombudsman kasi nasa Constitution din siya mismo, hindi lang dito sa RA 6770. Okay, so anyway, going back, ang point ko kaya ako nasabi pong political strategy to and a good strategy at that for those who are against VP Sara is because ngayon kahit na po hindi pa nila mapakonvict talaga si VP Sara because of her limited granted immunity as a impeachable officer, at least in this situation habang nag-investigate, pwede po nila mapakita yung mga evidence na ganyan. Tapos pag yung evidence po na yon is not favorable to VP Sara, edi syempre that will affect now the political mileage or the political popularity ni VP Sara. Yung example po dyan, kahit na po let's say in regular court proceedings, diba, bawal naman yung mga privileged communication like yung sa confidential funds. Kaya nga po kung ako lang talaga tatanungin, yung confidential funds, medyo malabo yun na case because yung ginagamit nilang evidence is privileged information. And I have already explained naman po before, I've cited jurisprudence sa pag-privileged information, hindi po yun automatic na pwede gamitin. Mahaba-habang discussion pa po yun. Pero anyway, going back, despite it being evidence that is hard to use in regular case proceedings, at least dito sa investigation, kung i-publicize, edi yun nga po, pwede yun gamitin as maka-apekto sa political popularity ng isang politician. So yan yung nakikita kong political strategy dito rin. Kaya ko rin siya nasabing malakas siya na political strategy para dun sa mga against VP Sara kasi depende na po talaga yun sa ombudsman kung ano yung gusto niya ipakita or i-publicize, diba? And during the investigations, during the publicity, the press conferences done by the ombudsman, unless naman po may court order na ma-declare na unconstitutional yung ginagawa ng ombudsman na ganyan, magtutuloy at pwede po yun gawin talaga ng ombudsman kasi the ombudsman is also a constitutionally created office po yan, diba? So, pwede niya basically i-exhaust yung tingin niyang pwede niya gamitin na mga kapangyarihan niya unless and until sabihan na siya na unconstitutional na yung ginagawa niya. Okay, so yan po ang tingin kong mga posibleng mangyari sa legal side of things as well as the political side of things naman. Okay, so hopefully klaro po yun. If you like more legal videos on current events, subscribe lang po kayo sa channel ko. And until next time, see you all po. Bye-bye!